Alison Ferring's love for the arts is well known in St. Louis. An artist herself, she and her husband John are major contributors to many cultural institutions. Alison's goal is accessibility for everyone, and that's why they've been major benefactors to COCA, Forest Park, and the St. Louis Library.
I think they're the most democratic places in St. Louis. Everybody goes to Forest Park. Everybody can go to the public library. There are no barriers to those places where there are kind of unspoken barriers to other places. That urban outreach was really important, and that's been one of the hallmarks of COCA's success too.
Alison grew up in service-focused New England and attended a private girls' school. Candidly, she says she wasn't happy with the person she was, and with surprising insight for a teenager, she took some time after high school to work on herself. She met John at Brown University, and in 1978, they moved to Lafayette Square, next to two public housing complexes.
So I basically saw the haves and the have-nots, right up against each other. So long before we talked about the Del Mar Divide, I was very aware the divide was 18th Street for me. And some of those kids growing up there started coming over and hanging out at our house after school. And I got a real insight into what life for the have-nots was. And it fell usually on, a racial divide. So I always say it's where you choose to live and what you see. And, you see problems and you try to solve them as best you can. And so that's really what started my community involvement, and it just sort of organically grew.
I think the thing that is unique about Alison is her incredible wisdom and guidance on the strategy side, but then her willingness to get up out of the chair and work right alongside staff and other volunteers to get her goals and our goals accomplished.
Alison and John raised their family in St. Louis, and she has strong ties created during decades of community service. Ties she uses to help organizations that are moving the needle.
I see these incredible young leaders, 30 and 40-somethings coming up, and I can say, you need to talk to so-and-so. And I like it when those sparks happen. We've always looked to good leadership, and we will support good leadership. And that's being strategic because there's so much duplication in this community.
Alison wants to move the needle on early childhood education and mental health services. If history is precedent, her impact will be substantial. But with typical New Englanders' humility, Alison downplays her legacy.
Maybe she cared for her community,